Western Sahara, an immense wind-swept expanse of desert and coastline in northwest Africa, remains for most of the world a blank space on the map. Its name is rarely spoken in travel circles and its borders are often drawn in uncertainty, both literally and figuratively. The story of this land is overshadowed by decades of conflict, political tension, and a struggle for identity that has left scars on both its landscape and its people. Yet to set foot here is to step into a living narrative, one where the endless golden dunes of the Sahara meet the restless Atlantic, and where ancient nomadic traditions endure, adapting quietly to the slow march of modernity. Every encounter, whether it's a shared meal beneath the open sky, a conversation in a bustling market, or a simple gesture of hospitality, offers a window into a culture that is both complex and remarkably resilient, shaped by hardship but defined by warmth. This is not a typical tourist destination. Instead, it's an expedition into a world sculpted by wind, by the shifting sands of trade, and by a decades-long political struggle that continues to shape daily life. Here, the journey itself is as important as the destination. The land's stark beauty is matched only by its quiet dignity. The silence of the desert, the resilience of its people, and the subtle colors of sunset all leave a mark that lingers long after you've gone. Here, you'll be welcomed with mint tea poured by Sahrawi families, a ritual that speaks of tradition, patience, and the importance of community in a place where survival depends on solidarity. You'll watch kite surfers dance across the turquoise waters of Dakhla, where the desert meets the ocean, and adventure seekers from around the world come to ride the wind. And you'll witness a unique blend of cultures, Spanish colonial remnants standing side by side with Moroccan influence, creating a patchwork of history and identity that is distinctly Sahrawi. Western Sahara is a place that demands curiosity, humility, and an open mind. It rewards those who come not just to see, but to listen and to learn. So leave your preconceptions behind. Join me as we wander through sun-scorched cities, experience a culture unlike any other, and meet people whose hopes endure despite the odds. Together, let's discover what life is really like in this world's forgotten territory, a place at the edge of the map, but at the heart of resilience and hope. Western Sahara is often called Africa's last colony, a territory caught in limbo since Spain's withdrawal in 1975. For nearly half a century, this vast stretch of desert has been the center of a struggle that rarely makes international headlines, yet its impact is deeply felt by those who call it home. The echoes of colonialism linger in the abandoned buildings and the uncertain status of the land. Morocco claims and administers most of the land, asserting its sovereignty through visible symbols and government presence. Meanwhile, the Polisario Front, representing the indigenous Sahrawi people, continues to fight for self-determination and independence, operating from exile and refugee camps. The two sides remain locked in a bitter dispute, each with its own vision for the future. The United Nations still considers Western Sahara a non-self-governing territory, and a promised referendum on its future has never materialized. Decades of negotiations and peacekeeping missions have failed to break the deadlock, leaving the region in a state of political limbo. Decades of stalemate have divided families, with many Sahrawis living in harsh conditions in refugee camps in Algeria, reliant on international aid for survival. Generations have grown up knowing only displacement, separated from their ancestral lands and uncertain if they will ever return. Morocco has invested heavily in infrastructure, building roads, schools, and new towns across the territory. But for many Sahrawis, these projects are seen not as progress, but as a means of consolidating control and changing the region's identity. In recent years, major world powers have increasingly backed Morocco's autonomy plan, further isolating the independence movement. Tensions have flared, and in 2020, hostilities reignited, shattering years of uneasy ceasefire and bringing renewed uncertainty to the region. The result is a quiet tension, development and modernity on the surface, but deep uncertainty and frustration underneath. The contrast between new infrastructure and the persistence of traditional Sahrawi life highlights the unresolved nature of the conflict. The conflict's human cost is immense, shaping daily life for thousands. Children grow up surrounded by military checkpoints and the ever-present sense of instability, while families cling to hope for a peaceful resolution that remains elusive. This is the backdrop to every story in Western Sahara, a land where the past and present collide and the future remains uncertain. Laayoune, Western Sahara's largest city, is a frontier between desert and modernity. Wide boulevards and bustling markets reflect Moroccan investment, while Spanish colonial architecture lingers in the old town. The city pulses with energy, yet the presence of military and police is a constant reminder of its disputed status. Conversations about politics are cautious, but the markets overflow with life, spices, melfers, and the sounds of haggling in multiple dialects. Laayoune is both a modern Moroccan hub and a historic Sahrawi capital, a place of commerce and quiet conflict. It's the last outpost before the desert, deeply connected to the ancient landscape beyond. Exploring Laayoune means experiencing the resilience and complexity at the heart of Western Sahara. Dakhla, perched on a peninsula between lagoon and ocean, is Western Sahara's window to the world. Once a sleepy fishing town, it's now a global hotspot for kite surfers, drawn by relentless winds and stunning scenery. Spanish colonial traces remain, but new hotels and surf camps signal rapid growth and Morocco's vision for the city's future. The lagoon is an ecological haven, flamingos, marine life, and fishermen define daily rhythms. Dakhla's culture is shaped by the sea, offering adventure by day and desert silence by night. Here the focus is on opportunity and optimism, a glimpse of what Western Sahara could become. It's a place where the desert meets the Atlantic in a spectacle of beauty and possibility. Beyond the cities, Western Sahara's true character emerges in its vast elemental landscapes, rock, sand, and sky. Here the horizon stretches endlessly, and the silence is profound, broken only by the whisper of the wind. The desert is not empty, but alive with subtle movement and shifting light, a place where time seems to slow and the senses awaken. The terrain shifts from gravel plains to towering dunes, a world that humbles and inspires quiet reflection. Each step across the sand reveals new textures and colors, from pale gold to deep ochre, shaped by centuries of sun and wind. The landscape is ever-changing, sculpted by nature's patient hand. For centuries, the Sahrawi have called this land home, their nomadic heritage etched into every feature. Their tents, woven from goat hair, stand resilient against the elements, while camel caravans trace ancient routes across the sands. Stories and songs echo through the generations, keeping traditions alive beneath the open sky. Even today you might spot a lone camel herder, a living link to generations past. These solitary figures move with quiet purpose, guided by knowledge passed down over centuries, embodying the enduring spirit of the desert. The coastline is wild and dramatic, cliffs, shipwrecks, and pristine beaches teeming with wildlife. Here the Atlantic meets the desert in a clash of elements, where seabirds wheel above the surf and the remains of old ships tell stories of peril and adventure. Exploring these remote stretches feels like uncovering a secret world, untouched and raw. Each journey reveals hidden wonders, rare plants clinging to life, ancient fossils, and the tracks of animals that thrive in this harsh environment. At night, the desert sky explodes with stars, offering a sense of perspective and connection to something ancient. The Milky Way arches overhead, and the constellations seem close enough to touch, reminding us of our place in the universe and the timelessness of this land. The silence and scale of the Sahara invite you to look inward, to understand the soul of the land. In these quiet moments, surrounded by endless space, you can feel the weight of history and the promise of discovery. Here, the worries of the modern world fade, replaced by awe and humility. The desert's beauty is both stark and profound, leaving a lasting impression on all who journey through its timeless expanse. Hospitality is the heart of Sahrawi culture, embodied in the ritual of tea. Sharing tea is a gesture of friendship and respect, a slow ceremony that weaves conversation and connection. The traditional tent, or kaima, is a symbol of nomadic heritage, offering shelter, community, and a link to the past. Even in cities, the kaima remains a space for guests and tradition. Music and poetry are vital, preserving history and expressing longing, love, and resilience. Family and community are the bedrock, forged by survival in a harsh land and decades of uncertainty. Despite hardship, Sahrawis preserve their identity with pride and dignity. To be welcomed into their homes is to experience the true spirit of Western Sahara. It's an encounter with a gentle, resilient, and profoundly hospitable people. Visiting Western Sahara takes planning, but the rewards are immense. The best time is October to April, when temperatures are mild and the wind is ever present. Pack layers and a windproof jacket, respect local customs, dress modestly, accept tea invitations, and always ask before taking photos. The region is generally safe in Moroccan-administered areas, but political sensitivities run deep. Avoid political discussions and check travel advisories. Getting around is straightforward between cities, but exploring the desert requires a 4x4 and a local guide. There are no trains, but buses and flights connect major towns. The journey pushes you out of your comfort zone, offering genuine adventure and discovery. Western Sahara is one of the world's last truly off-the-beaten-path destinations. Come prepared, and you'll be rewarded with unforgettable experiences. In every shared cup of tea, you witness the resilience of the Sahrawi people, enduring decades of uncertainty, yet holding fast to their identity. Elders pass down memories of a free, nomadic life, keeping heritage alive as a quiet act of defiance. Hope takes many forms. For some, it's political resolution. For others, it's opportunity and peace within the current reality. The conflict has divided families for generations, but the hope of reunion persists. Despite sorrow, warmth and kindness shine through. Travelers are welcomed as guests, not tourists. Personal encounters reveal the true soul of Western Sahara. You arrive with questions about conflict, but leave with memories of laughter, generosity and hope. The people's unwavering spirit is the heart of this land. Western Sahara is more than a destination. It's an education in resilience and complexity. Here, ancient traditions meet a future shaped by geopolitics and the enduring spirit of its people. The desert's stark beauty, the tea ceremony's quiet dignity, and the city's vibrant energy leave a lasting mark. But it's the people, their stories, hospitality and hope that you remember most. Travel here builds bridges of understanding, reminding us that behind every conflict are ordinary lives shaped by distant decisions. By witnessing and sharing their stories, we help ensure they are not forgotten. So learn more, visit if you can, and listen to the voices in the wind. Western Sahara is a journey to the edge of the map and into the heart of hope.